we need to know, what can I do to stop gaining weight?
It is my great pleasure to introduce and welcome Gary Knoll, noted lecturer and author, best-selling author, nationally syndicated radio host, and boy, can you run a marathon too.
Just ran a marathon.
It's good to have you here in the studios with us.
And those recipes, those are desserts.
Oh, yum.
Desserts.
Guilt-free desserts? Is
Guilt-free
that
desserts
possible?
and allergy-free desserts. Remember, the first time you really heard anywhere in Seoul nationally you could do something about your aging process was right here on your public television station. We're going to make it simple. 15 foods that will change your life for the better. And then I'm going to show you how to make those foods delicious, nutritious, in fact, gourmet. These are board-certified physicians who specialize in helping people understand the food-mood connection. Diabetes is at an epidemic level, and it's preventable in most cases.
We think that if everyone's drinking soda, it must be okay. If they're serving us pizza in public schools, it's okay.
How is this generation so overweight?
We are eating ourselves into this situation. Our sedentary lifestyles have led to this.
Cholesterol per se is not the enemy. It's the oxidized cholesterol.
The statin drugs that block the production of cholesterol also block the liver's production of coenzyme Q10.
There are a variety of natural things that help within the blood. Fish oil, nattokinase decreases inflammation. Vitamin E, garlic is beneficial. Vitamin C as well.
But there are certain ground rules that can make it simple. First, nobody should be eating white sugar. White sugar has no benefit for anybody. I mean, people have heard this before. Increasing evidence, even from the conventional medical world, is starting to question the safety of the 160 pounds of white sugar the average American takes in each year. And I don't eat any, so somebody's getting my 160 pounds, and I wouldn't want to be that person. You know, 160 pounds of white sugar, like a half a pound every 2 days. It's almost like taking a drug in huge amounts. It overworks the pancreas, does all kinds of negative things. Secondly, supplementation. Again, in our office, treating cancer, preventing cancer is complicated because each protocol is individualized. However, there are certain rules that can apply to anybody.
The American Diabetic Association giving advice for diabetics that doesn't work for a lot of diabetics. Advice being given by the American Heart Association, which is conservative and valid, but again, doesn't apply to everyone. Why? Because we're all different. You have to tailor therapies to individuals, and that puts a lot of the responsibility in the lap of the individual. They have to become the world expert in their body, and that's a lot of power to give to somebody, sometimes an overwhelming amount.
If we're struggling with nutrient deficiencies, symptoms include declining of memory, concentration, lack of ability to remember items.
As we're aging, our body can rejuvenate itself.
Start being aware that everything that you do is cause and effect. Everything. Believe that you can reverse disease, and you will.
If I told you right now you have a brain tumor and you have to pack your bags and go to the hospital for brain surgery, you would run right home and do it. But I'm telling you now, you're on the wrong diet and you're not exercising, and you have to do something about all the stress in your life. And that is the big key to good health.
Why are we so sick? Why aren't we living 120, 130, 150 years in good health? Why do we think that it's something special if we get to be 50 or 55 without having a myriad of conditions?
There is enough research now showing that the single greatest risk factor for death and disease is not smoking, not failing to exercise. It's lack of having a supportive network, a support system, people that we can count on.
Bring beauty to every relationship, to everyone you touch. Engage gracefully. Engage with forgiveness, with compassion. But to me, the key word here is beauty. And the fourth is be aware of the energetic dialogue that you're having all the time with everyone and with everything. Insist on the highest quality, the highest level, the highest integrity in all your energetic engagements.
I feel there are several reasons why there can be problems with the immune system. One is the standard American diet, your basic fast food, junk food diet.
It tastes good though.
Tastes good?
But it's not good.
What if you had a health food that tasted good as a junk food? Would you eat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drink a lot of soda.
Basically, I eat fish, vegetables, fruit, and a lot of candy.
I think most Americans would agree that we are a highly stressed society. Think of the hundreds of thousands of people rushing to get to work, Do they like their work? Are they happy with their life each day? Are they eating the right foods? Are they responding to the issues of their life? Are they focused upon what is essential? What happens, for instance, if you really don't like your work? If you're not happy with how you're communicating in your relationships? If you don't like how you're aging? If you don't like how your body feels and looks? First, I open up the vitamin E, because vitamin E helps prevent stroke in your animal, helps protect their heart. That's my vitamin E. Then I give them oil of primrose. Then I take the salmon oil. The key to getting them to drink it is the salmon oil, because it tastes like fish. Now, you talk about a no-hassle way of making sure your pet gets the vitamins it needs to protect its heart, to protect from cancer. Look at this. Yes. So good. Going to live a long life, aren't you, huh? In the last 100 years, if you correct for birth deaths, let's say when children died very early in birth, we have only extended the average lifespan in 100 years, 3 years and 7 months. With all of our technology, with all of our knowledge, how is it we're only living 3.7 years longer on average? Well, we're going to explore that. You're not going to eat this if you don't buy it. And if you don't know what it is and what it does, you won't buy it. So I'm going to help you. Right off the bat, if you're overweight, you want celery. Celery juice is your most important juice because it's a natural diuretic. It will flow out all those toxins that are stored in your fat. Remember, you don't want to be losing fat that has a lot of pesticides, a lot of chemicals that you've accumulated over the years and over-toxify your liver and your kidneys. This is the great detoxifier.
I know the healthy things to eat, but I always seem to throw in those things that are not good for me, and I know that's where the weight is coming from.
I know what foods are healthy, but I guess I haven't wanted to have the discipline or the self-control to eat the right foods.
Time for women to stop what they're doing for a moment, take a pause in their life, take a deep breath and say, from this moment forward in this new millennium, I'm going to honor me. From a woman's perspective, a woman is now aware that she is a dynamic, wonderful, integrated being, and everything is in balance. Being truly whole means being in balance in your life, having the best relationship possible, and developing strong self-esteem by discovering your sacred self. Now, if you had no skin, and you could look into a transparent body, and you could see all these trillions of biochemical processes every second, and they were destructive. You could see the cells dying because of cortisol hitting. You could see your brain chemistry changing because of cortisol. Stop feeling that you have to be validated in order to be real. Doesn't matter if someone validates you. It only matters that you feel valid.
A person gets up and says, "Hi, I'm Jim, I'm an alcoholic." Jim is a father, he's a son, he's a brother, he's a friend. There are so many things that this Jim is. And yet he reduces his identity to one thing. I'm an alcoholic. And they carry that identity.
We have the knowledge, we have the science, we have the wherewithal to stop disease. That I will promise you today. You do not have to be sick. And if your doctor or anyone else tells you that, well, your heart disease is inevitable, high cholesterol is inevitable, they are wrong.
There's been so much research and so much scientific research that supports what practitioners have known for centuries about what meditation can do. And they're imaging our brains now. There was a recent study done up at Massachusetts General Hospital about how just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation practice can change the structure of your brain.
Meat kills animals, kills us, and is killing our economies. They could shut down every school, Army, Navy, Air Force, Homeland Security, Marines, CIA, and FBI, and they still will not have the money to pay their doctor bills. Underground aquifers that took millions of years to fill are now running dry. It takes 50,000 liters of precious drinking water to make 1 kilo of beef. 10,000 entire species are wiped out every year because of the actions of one. We are killing species before we have even met them.
The green covering of plant life across the earth is the matrix from which all creatures, including human life, is supported. Plants sustain us with breath and sustenance. Tubers, fruits, different berries, the herbs. A plant-based diet was a primary way of helping to prevent disease or help treat disease if you were sick.
How did America go from a nation that made it through the Great Depression to a nation that's now moving into the greatest depression in worse shape than it's ever been before?
It's a class war of corporations to shift the burden onto people, and of the richest citizens to shift it on to everybody else.
We have undergone a coup d'etat in slow motion, and they've won, and we've lost. We live in a corporate state. There's no piece of legislation by either party that seeks to redress the injustices, the grievances, and the legitimate suffering of the American people.
My liver had like 2-3 lesions. Doctor said it was stage 4 cancer, right? He told me the only hope is doing a hysterectomy. I didn't want to go that way.
So I was given 2 chronic diagnoses. One is chronic lymphatic leukemia, which is a blood-borne cancer, and the other is chronic bronchitis. I was told by my physicians that hospice care would be the next step for me.
Look at all the millions of people every year working in hospitals and research centers and universities with governmental agencies, all have something in common. They all want to find cures to overcome many diseases, heart disease, cancer, mental illness. And we've been doing this for decades. We can now say unequivocally that today we have found cures for diabetes, for arthritis, depression and anxiety disorders, dementia, memory loss, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, osteoporosis, and many other conditions that hitherto we would have said, well, we can treat it, we can keep you on medications, we can control many of the symptoms, but we can't really reverse the conditions.